Hey, it's Zach, one of your Wisconsin bourbon bros.
Yo, it's Brandon, Wisconsin Bourbon Bros.
Hey, Brandon, what are we doing tonight?
We're cocking chickens.
Oh, cocking chickens.
Chicken cocking? I don't know. We're tasting some chicken cock. We're in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and we're gonna head into Vino's and do a little tasting. All right, guys, we talk a lot about Vino. It's time to check out the bar, but before we do, I want to make sure we point out the Etc. The owner Brian started with Vino, expanded into the Etc. Awesome food, terrific patio overlooking the lake. Just a really wonderful place to spend an afternoon. Let's go take a look. Hey, where are you going, Bourbon Bro? Ooh, you forgot to check out the stage. Ooh. So, one really cool thing about Vino is multiple times a week, they've got live performances. So, come in here if you want to get a kind of a rock and roll in time, but they've constantly got new acts coming up all the time.
We're gonna head down to Grandma Borks, or Borks, I should say, which is what they call the bourbon tasting area.
Yo, Bourbon Bro.
Oh, that's where you went.
Got the whiskey down here.
You're already down here.
Come check out Grandma Borks. I've been a member of Bourbon Club for better part of 3 years now. Zach, you've been coming here for a couple years now too. This place has kind of evolved over time, and it's kind of turned into something special for Vino. So Brian, the owner, renovated this downstairs part, and he was very intentional about the decor. He wanted this to be like Grandma Borks, his mother's home, that sweet space for his kids to come and spend time, and it's become kind of a homey feel for Bourbon Club as well. So we love coming in here. You get nestled in. It's very cozy. It's very quaint. But this is home for Bourbon Club. Come check this out. This is also a pretty cool feature of Bourbon Club here. So we got the cellar. So a pretty cool part of this is with your Bourbon Club membership, it includes a bottle every other month. So there's a bottle of the month. It'll find its way into your cubby. You just stop in anytime and pick up your bottle to add to your collection, or if you want to sip it here in the Bourbon Lounge, you can just pop your bottle and enjoy some whiskey here in the lounge.
So one of the first questions that I always get, whether I'm working Kentucky Bourbon Fest a couple of weeks ago, or I'm just out in the market selling this, or I'm presenting, anyone have an idea what that question is? Why would you name your whiskey chicken cock? Reason for that is that the brand, it actually dates back to 1856 to Paris, Kentucky. And in 1856, there was a farmer by the name of James A. Miller, and he was making a whiskey that he was so passionate about, he thought it was so good that it was worth crowing about. We have to remember in 1856, we were still using the Old English language. The word for a male chicken was a cock. The word rooster doesn't actually come about till about 1904. That starts to pop up in our vernacular. These are actually, both of our bottle styles are replica packages of what chicken cock would have been. And this is our pre-prohibition style here. People a lot of times will ask, is that honey in the bottle? You know, what's with the honeycomb? It's actually meant to mimic chicken wire. Again, he was a farmer. He loved his hogs, his farming, and he loved his whiskey. So 1856, up until Prohibition, chicken cock did very, very well. It was one of the most highly regarded, widely sought after high quality whiskeys in the market. So by the time the Prohibition hits, the company that owned it, they made the decision to shift production up to Canada, at which point it was being done as a Canadian rye whiskey. Now, we're not going to try the Cotton Club tonight, so I can kind of let the cat out of the bag early with this one. But what we did with Cotton Club, that was the first in our LTO series, or our limited time offering series. And what we did with that was pay tribute to what chicken cock was during Prohibition, which would have been a Canadian rye whiskey. Prohibition ends, thankfully. Production goes back to Paris, Kentucky, and goes back to Kentucky until early 1950s. There's a series of calamities, fires, financial issues, and just really consumer trends. We didn't see people gravitating towards brown goods. It was really more vodka, gin at that point. They decided just to let chicken cock go. And so that's where it went, off into the ethers for about 60 years. Fast forward to 2010, the owner of the company that I work for, his name is Madi Antala, could acquire the brand rights to chicken cock. So that's what he did. And for the first couple of years, young, small company, needed cash flow. He brought chicken cock back, and it was a very young flavored whiskey. It came in a tin can. I actually sold it at one point in my career, and it came in a tin can. It was like cinnamon bounce, cherry, root beer. It was fine. It did what it was intended to do, which was to generate some cash flow for a small company. Our master distiller today, his name is Greg Snyder. He's got 46 years in the industry. Amazing guy, like I said, some of you have met him. But they sat down, and Madi shared with him his vision of bringing chicken cock back to its home state of Kentucky and back to that super high quality reputation. So Greg agreed to do it under the condition that no more flavored whiskey. We're going to do everything super premium. One of the first things that Greg did for us is he got us in with Bardstown Bourbon Company. So a lot of people, when they see chicken cock, they're like, who are you sourcing from? Where are you getting it from? And it's really exciting to be able to say it's not sourced. We work with Bardstown Bourbon Company, and Bardstown Bourbon Company has a collaborative distillation program. And what that means is you can have whatever level of hands-on, with your whiskey that you want. If you want them just to make you this mash bill and this, they'll do that for you. If you want to have complete control over the process like we do with our own master distiller, you can do that too, just without that, billion-dollar price tag that comes with a brick and mortar facility. And everything that you have in front of you tonight, with the exception of the double oak, and we'll talk about that, is all stuff now that Greg has that's all stuff that he laid down. So we're not sourcing anything at this point. A little bit about Greg, because I think that it speaks a lot to the quality of what's in your glass. So Greg, like I said, 46 years in the industry. He spent 12 years at Brown-Forman as the director of their cooperage program, which is their barrel program. He's worked for Western Spirits, Jim Beam, Wild Turkey, 12 years running Brown-Forman's cooperage program. That's all barrels. So he knows a lot about whiskey, and he knows a lot about barrels, which is really instrumental and a point of difference in what we're doing. To our knowledge, we're the only whiskey company out there that has our master distiller out there literally putting on muck boots and overalls and climbing around on logs and hand selecting the barrels. The next part is that he actually designed an infrared toasting mechanism. So instead of taking a flame in that barrel where you're going to get very uneven heat, here it might go in, I don't know, a third of an inch, or an eighth of an inch. You want really even heat. So he took a turret. It's a LED and it sits on a turret, and the barrel spins around it. And I think it's for about 12 minutes. And what that does is it gets you about a half inch of toast. And from that toast, you're going to get this amazing flavor. Then on top of that, we put on a level 3 char. And then additionally, those logs are all natural air dried for about 11 months before we stave them into barrels. We're doing all the small things right, and I think that's something that really sets us apart. So with that, you guys are probably thirsty. I'm hot, but let's drink some whiskey.
Starting with the chicken cock. This is their straight bourbon, top left corner here. Cheers.
Cheers. Here we go.
So the small batch next. So our small batch is really new.
What do you think it knows?
That's pulling down traditional bourbon.
Yeah, I love the smell of this.
I would say it was within about 4 or 5.
I would say it's a little soft on the nose. It doesn't feel heavy, but it feels really sweet.
Yeah, definitely feels rye forward on the palate. Did you dive in yet?
No, I didn't dive in yet. Here we go.
Still nosing around.
So when we're gonna make a batch, the only different mash bill is the same.
Rye forward, vanilla.
Yeah, rye forward, vanilla. I'm feeling like green apple almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
These barrels that we're using for this.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I want to say it's okay. How much? So this comes in at 68.25. I would say I actually kind of like the nose. I would say the nose is strong for me.
As I'm sure everybody in the room knows.
You?
There's
Nose
no
is weak.
government designation for what makes something small batch. You can take 1,000 barrels.
I would
put
say
together and
the
small batch
flavor
if you want.
is weak for me.
I'm going to say the flavor is weak as well.
We stand all of our
Finish,
bottles with
I'm gonna
what
go
batch it came from,
also
how
probably
many
kinda pretty
barrels we
weak.
used.
I'm actually going to go strong on the finish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This
Interesting.
particular
I'm
bottle
pulling down
here
these
was batch
finishes.
5, so
Probably my
the
favorite
batch
part of
we
the
did,
juice.
we used-
All right, we're on to the small
Generally,
batch.
People are like, oh, I really like that one, or I really like that
10
one.
more proof points here. Same mash bill, same content, just not quite as diluted down.
It is. So around the office, they like to refer to me as Chardonnay.
Feel like
Shannon.
we're golf
I'm
clapping.
Okay,
much
there we
more
go.
likely in
Now
my
we're-
natural habitat to be found
Now we're
in
moving
glass
more
of
towards
Chardonnay, or
more
even
towards
hot
This
sauce.
is this is a little heavier on the nose. I felt the last one was like a subtle sweet on the nose.
Yeah.
This is heavy sweet on the nose.
Yep, I agree.
That's hot for me.
Darker.
Not bad.
The third one that we're doing is going to be our rye whiskey.
I feel like very similar to the straight
I work a
bourbon.
lot of shows. And
On
I
palate,
buy,
but fuller.
But fuller,
bottle
yeah,
of
but
rye
fuller.
whiskey,
I'd say
and it's like
delivering
this
more of a
like
punch,
wiener dog,
but in a
oh,
lot of the
I
same
prefer
notes.
rye whiskey.
I'd say this is just kind of like a step up from
I
the
just make it
straight.
if you don't like it.
I agree.
It will not hurt me.
All right. Well, let's say we run it back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's run it back. So we have our small batch.
Small batch here.
What do you?
Proof.
100 proof. We're thinking of the nose. What do we got for nose here?
I'm going strong.
I am also going strong on the nose. I like this.
This
is good.
this brought me what I hoped the last one did. This came through with what I
Yes.
wanted to get out of the first one.
Yeah, and
it's strong.
I'm glad that we had it in that order because I would have been very disappointed to have the straight after having the small batch.
Agreed. Palate?
Palate wise, I'm also going to go strong on the palate. I think.
I want to get there. I don't quite. I'm going to stick with weak. I'm going weak on the palate.
Okay.
Finish?
Finish. I'm going to say I'm going weak on the finish.
I think I'm flipping the script here. I think I'm going weak on the finish, which is crazy because it brings me 10 more points approved. So I was expecting even more because I really enjoyed the finish on the first one.
We are on to rye.
Right up.
Let's rye it up.
And the loggers printed into the woods to get the wood that they need to make their barrels. So what we ran into is a situation with a lot of distilleries, primarily in Kentucky.
So I'm smelling citrusy on the nose, but I'm also getting like this very candy-like smell.
Yeah, I'm getting like literally like fresh cherry skins, like a bright cherry.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I don't want to say red sucker because I know we just had a short where I said something was kind of like a red sucker, but it kind of reminds me of that candy-wise.
That is good rye, dude. I think it's bringing a little more nose than maybe you gave it credit for me. But that the palate is it's different because I'm not getting like your typical rye spice as a rye.
I agree.
I'm getting a lot of fruit forward, kind of bright fruity notes on the palate, which I guess when I'm thinking rye, I'm thinking spice, and I'm just not getting it, so it's kind of taking me back a little bit. Nose?
I would say nose for rye whiskey for me. I would say nose. It's strong.
I agree. I'm going strong.
Palate, I'm going to say also strong for me.
I'm going strong.
Finish. I'm going to go weak on the finish.
I'm going weak as well. Yeah, a little bit thin.
Yeah.
It doesn't hang around very long. If it had a little more proof, I think this would be a magnificent rye. I would put this in the collection for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, we're on to the Jigger whiskey here. This is the Chicken Cock Double Oak. Oh, look at that! It just came with fingers.
Woo, special.
Woo, that's heavy.
That is heavy. I like that. Man, I'm a char lover.
I was waiting for him to talk about the smoky oaky here.
Yeah, I am in deep on double oaked whiskey.
So nose comes in full, thick. I get a little bit of that kind of like marshmallow burntness to it.
Oh.
Go ahead, you can drop your notes on the nose here. I got some thoughts on the palate.
So nose, it's exactly what you would imagine double oak. So when you buy a double oak bottle and you put your nose in there, you're getting that little bit of smokiness. You're feeling like you're seeing and tasting that char on the barrel. And I love that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely delivers on all that full kind of darker tones that you would get on a double oak. Palate is not quite that.
Continue. What do you want to say about the palate?
I find that the palate is less refined than I would expect on a double oak.
I agree.
Very simple flavor profile. A little bit of vanilla, light sweetness, almost honey, which is like a lot lighter than I expected.
Yep.
And quite frankly, the finish didn't quite hit it for me either. So.
Yeah, I agree with everything Brandon's saying. I like it because it's a little smoky, a little oaky, and I like that. But it's very kind of one notey throughout. What do you think on the nose?
Nose, I'm gonna go strong actually on the nose.
Going strong on the nose. I too am going strong on the nose. One of my favorite smells. Palate. I think you guys know I'm going weak.
I agree. I'm gonna go weak on the palate here.
And with the finish, same thing.
Yeah, I'm a little bit thin, unfortunately, so I'm gonna go weak on the finish as well. Well, first of all, this is probably the one I'm most excited to try. For no other reason than it's got kind of the island Caribbean bottle. Total tater pleasure here. Just sparked all my curiosities.
Yes, I also see this one on the shelves sometimes, and I'm very much like, that's looks very tropical.
Yes. That's good nose, dude.
It's an interesting nose.
So here are the mind games that marketing plays. Is it weird that I'm looking for coconut?
Are you looking for coconut?
Bit,
You smell coconut? I don't smell coconut. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Is like Christmas.
Okay.
Like Christmas smells.
Pine needles?
Like pine.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure.
But it has like that sweetness, like that caramel sweetness smell as well with that pine. So it kind of does, the pine's not as sharp.
That's the best thing we've had today. That finally brought some thickness, some thickness.
Yeah, I think that's something that we always appreciate is the viscosity of it.
This is their rye whiskey into a Caribbean rum barrel. When I think rum, I think spice, right?
Okay, yeah.
I was expecting a little more spicy, punchy. I feel like this is the enhanced version of their rye whiskey, which is great. Didn't still quite give me the spice I was looking for. I was looking for a little nutmeggy, cinnamon, something. I didn't quite get that. Nose? Strong.
I would also say nose is strong for me.
Palate? Strong.
I would say palate strong.
Finish? Strong. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is the best bourbon we've had tonight.
Whiskey. This is good.
Sorry, best whiskey.
It's good whiskey.
We are on to the Red Stave Chicken Cock.
Red Stave. What kind of wine do they finish with? Wine barrel? What is it?
A Syrah. Syrah wine. So it's a bourbon. So it's a bourbon folk out there. Syrah is a very heavy, dense,
red wine,
robust wine.
Real robust wine.
And you can really see the color of this bourbon. It shines with the. Look how dark this is.
It smells winey.
Whoa. It does smell
winey.
Yeah.
That's a winey bourbon.
This is very fruity. Very fruity smell.
It's fruity, like grapefruity.
Yeah. Not like
not grapefruity, but the fruit.
Yeah, but not like grape as in like you're popping like sweet grapes in your mouth.
Like
type.
a red grape.
Yeah.
A wine grape.
Like a wine grape.
I'm not a caveman, dude. I know what a wine grape is.
All right.
That's good.
I like the nose.
It almost smells dry. Does that sound weird?
No, it doesn't sound weird at all. I think that's probably pretty common. Delicious.
Good
I think.
nose.
I think it smells really good. Different again, just like the Island Rooster.
Full, very full.
Wow.
That's really good, dude.
That's delicious.
It's really good. It's very different.
I think, is this one of the first wine barrel finishes that we've had a bourbon that we both really enjoy?
Yeah, we both had that reaction. I agree.
Yeah.
First of all, just initial thoughts, so smooth. Like, so smooth.
Yeah.
Like, rounded all the way through.
Yep.
Front to back, very rounded.
Yeah.
Still carries that fruity carryover, but like a lighter fruit. I was kind of expecting something a little darker for some reason. But a little bit lighter.
I am getting this wonderful like aftertaste out through my nose. That's like it reminds me of wine, but wine with maybe a little bit of smokiness to it, which I kind of like.
Okay. I kind of have like a little Laffy Taffy finish.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Interesting.
Like, you know, Laffy Taffy's got like that kind of creamy after bit.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
There it is.
Red Stave. There it is. I now think this has taken the place for best whiskey we've had tonight. I think it's the most different. I think it's the most different whiskey that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, it's a complete whiskey.
Yeah, and I like that it brings new notes and makes those notes good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, it's not just different to be different. Like, it's different and great.
Yeah. All right, let's run it back. Nose.
Strong.
I agree. Strong. Palate.
Palate strong.
Strong as well.
Finish also strong.
Strong here. 3 times over. Yeah, I agree. Best of the night.
Yeah. This is bodybuilder action. Ripping your shirt in half. Delicious. Do you want to attempt to say this word?
This is the Mizunara Japanese oak.
Mizunara.
This is the Mizunara.
Mizunara. Anyways, it's one of those, and it's finished.
Quite a beautiful little can here. 4th edition of the Mizunara. $5,000 barrels.
But, yeah.
Before they pour a drop in there, which is pretty incredible. Japanese oak. I guess it's a newer to the market barrel situation. Hopefully it tastes good. It smells good.
It smells great.
It smells great.
Weirdly funny of me to say it smells like cherry blossom.
No, because it's not a cherry blossom tree.
No. What is it?
It's Japanese oak.
Mizunara?
Mizunara.
It does have a nice nose, though.
It's very good. So, finish is
Yeah, finish is nice.
Finish is different. I'm going to reserve judgment for a second.
Yeah, can we ponder on it? It's $260. We got to think about it.
It's viscous, it's oily, the finish is really nice. Flavors are not quite my palate.
Yeah, not quite my palate, but it definitely tastes
Flavorful.
Definitely. It's got a wonderful mouthfeel. I do really appreciate that spice, but it's not what I would be looking for me, palate-wise.
Yeah, I agree. And as it's kind of settled a little bit, the hug is lasted, it's endured,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
So, you expect that performance out of a high-end bottle.
Yep.
But I agree, the flavor's not quite hitting the notes that I enjoy. But a good bourbon. I think we can run it back.
Nose, I'm going to give it a strong nose.
I agree, strong. Palate?
This one's really tough for me because it's really not my profile. So for me, I would say probably weak.
I'm going to go as objective as I can here. I'm going to say strong. It's got a lot going on. Not my favorite flavors, but it's got a lot going on.
Yeah. Finish?
I'm going to go strong on the finish. Yeah, really nice finish. Standout feature of this bottle.
Yes, I would say strong on the finish, and I even think the finish saves the palate because going from palate to finish is where I think this bourbon shines the most.
I agree. Yep. The last little bit there is what kind of saves it. You're right. That's a good call. Anything stand out for you overall?
Yes, price. I think it's very expensive for what we had tonight.
Yeah, they charge premium prices. I think they stand by their product for sure.
Yeah, I think they're very proud of their product, and they should be because they put a lot of effort into this. They have full control over everything that they do when it comes to their bourbon and how they do it. And it's a craft thing, so you're going to expect a little higher prices, right?
Yep. I really don't know a lot about chicken cock. It's got a kind of a gimmicky bottle to me. That's the only thing I've ever known about it. So when I see gimmicky, I kind of expect the worst.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't that.
Yep.
What stood out to me most over the whole tasting is they make a good rye. They make a different rye, a rye that kind of operates in its own little lane, and I like that. In fact, I think we'll probably have to find a rye to put into our collection, just because it is kind of its own unique profile.
So out of all the whiskeys we had tonight, what was your favorite?
I think the Red Stave probably was the most impressive top to bottom.
Agreed.
All right, guys, before we wrap up, let's go check back in with the Bourbon OGs here and see what they thought of tonight's tasting. Come on.
But it's never that crazy. It was a pretty good deal, but... And he,
Hey, Terry.
Hi.
You guys ready to give us your thoughts on tonight's tasting? Just tell us what your standouts were. We're coming back to you. What was your favorite whiskey of the night?
Okay. The standouts were definitely everything Chicken Cock does is amazing.
Yep.
But the Red Stave and the Mizunara were actually, I will use the word amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
And 100% agree. In fact, I ordered this.
You're going home with it, huh? There we go. Love it.
The Chicken Cock Island Rooster. Excellent.
Are you going to go home with one, Frankie?
I hope so.
The Mizunara obviously was fantastic, and the Red Stave. But on the lower side, I really did like the straight bourbon. As a regular everyday, I mean, it's a very good bourbon. Yeah, and the rye also. Yeah. Jerry?
What do you think, Jerry?
All right, I agree. I think they did a nice job. Chicken Cock makes some really good bourbons. I would say the small batch was good. My favorite was probably the Red Stave, although the Mizunara was right there with it. So you can't go wrong if you got the money.
All right, I liked the Red Stave right here. Yeah. The Mizunara was very good as well. I'd take either one if everybody wants to buy me one. It's fine.
All right, guys. Well, that was our tasting tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Brandon.
I'm Zach.
We're the Bourbon Bros.
We'll see you on the next one.